Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of RPGs with Paddy. I'm Paddy. Today we're going to be looking at the second entry and the first real entry where you actually go into the information for New Gamemaster Month. So I will be looking today, I'll be doing 3 separate videos for Runequest, for Trail of Cthulhu and for Numenera. So let's have a look and see what is available there. So if you go to the website and you'll see that this is the next part that they have up. Initial planning for your game session. So there's quite a bit of information here. Feel free to read through it here. But the most important things are that there's going to be 8 sessions and 8 posts. And this is already number 2. So we're making good progress. And they say each task that they give you for those 8 sessions, those 8 activities, it might take you about an hour or so. And so maybe you're thinking, is it always this much work? So you're putting in about 8 hours of preparation just for one game? But as this article reassures you, it's not all that bad. First of all, this is just little bits of work throughout the month. But also it's teaching you the game system. Once you have the game system and the core rules, that really represents the bulk of the work. And it gets a lot easier going forward. So don't think that every time you play, you're going to have to put in a month's preparation time before. This is just to help you build up to that first session. After you've got that first session sorted, you'll be much easier. It will be much easier for you to run your next session. Okay, so there's a little bit of information about setting it up digitally as well. I won't be focusing on that, but feel free to read that if you want, but it's fine anyway. It's nothing too much. Most of the Roll20 information will be here. But again, I won't be going through it in details. So, although I said I will be doing 3 videos, which I will, all 3 of them for Numenera, Trail of Cthulhu and Runequest focus on these main issues that you should get started with immediately. So the first one is choose a time and a place. So the website recommends the weekend of January the 27th, that would work nicely because it lines up with the end of this program, the New Gamemaster Month. So you finish the program and then you immediately start your first session. But of course, if that doesn't suit you, choose another time that suits both you and your players. And I would say if you have many people who are interested in doing it at the same time, there might be difficulty scheduling that. And if you can't get a time that suits everyone within, say, the first 2 weeks after finishing this, just play the session without everyone. It's really important to get that first session under your belt, and you can always run the other sessions or the same scenario for some of the missing players in the future. But it's really important to use this momentum that you have from New Gamemaster Month to have that first session within about 2 weeks, I would recommend, if at all possible. Yeah, the next thing is to wrangle your players. I love that is sometimes the absolutely perfect description, wrangling your players. So usually for most role-playing games, 4 to 5 players is best, but I would say 2 or 3 players is fine too. I would recommend not going too high though. If you've got 6, 7, 8 players, it is probably just easier to run 2 sessions. For a few reasons. First of all, it will be much easier to arrange a time that suits everyone. And also, you can just run the same session twice. So say you have 8 players who want to play. You can have 4 players playing one week, and then another week you run the same scenario for different players. This really lets you relax a bit. You've already done the prep for the session once. You'll just be doing it again. But also, any parts you were unsure about running the first time, you can see, can you improve it in your second session? So I think that's a really good situation if you are fortunate enough to have, say, 8 players who want to play. And basically, the last thing there as well is that they recommend this website, whenisgood.net. This is a very useful website, and I'll just show you here. Basically, you'll just set up a time like this, where everyone can highlight what times are suitable for them, and then you can all clearly see what is the suitable time. So I think that's maybe the best one. So choose a time that's suitable for you, and then try to get your players signing up for that. Okay, so on to Runequest. So here they tell you that the adventure that you're going to be running is a rough landing. This is the first adventure in the adventure booklet, if in the Runequest starter set. You can feel free to look through it as you like, but there's no need just yet. I would actually say it's better not to look at it just yet. Runequest has quite a few rules, and in my opinion, it's better to experience it a bit yourself first before reading all of the rules. And actually, that's what we're going to do today, is by looking at the Soloquest. So just before we go through the combat action, I'm going to explain something about the Soloquest. This is something that Chaosium started with Call of Cthulhu, continued here with Runequest, and included in their newest RPG, Rivers of London. Basically, they provide you with a solo choose your own adventure or pick your path adventure game, so you can go through it and learn the rules bit by bit. It's really great. Basically, you don't need to understand any of the rules, and you'll go through this adventure picking up just the pieces of the rules as they become necessary. So you get to play through it and learn bit by bit when it's important. So I highly recommend actually doing that before kind of reading through the combat example, which I will do here in a second. But I would actually recommend stopping the video here, going and playing your solo adventure, and then coming back and watching that if you want. So I'm also going to play through an example of this, but I want you to try it yourself first. So you can click on this link here in the website. So if you click here, it's going to bring you to the Chaosium website, where you can actually play the full Soloquest right here. It even has a built-in dice roller. You can track the hit points and the magic points and everything there. And there's also, you can download the character sheets here as well. You will need reference to the rules book, which is part of the starter set as well. But basically, this is the best way, I think, to learn a new system. It's not going to cover 100% of the rules, but it will cover most of the important things, and you'll learn them just step by step. So it's really, really useful. So just before I leave you, let's just read through the introduction of the Soloquest. But don't worry, no spoilers. Okay, so here we are. This is the Soloquest. So I'm just going to read through the introduction, and then I'll leave you to enjoy the adventure yourself. So the Battle of Dangerford is a solo adventure for RuneQuest role-playing in Glorantha. It is a story of mythic adventure in Glorantha, Greg Stafford's epic fantasy setting. It is also designed to lead you through the basic rules of the game in a gradual and entertaining way. While RuneQuest adventures will most commonly be run with friends, this one is just for you. To navigate this scenario, readers follow a thread of linking text passages. Their path depends on their choices and their successes in skill checks or combat. The only thing required to play this scenario are the game rules, this booklet, the adventure sheets for Vasana and Vostor, a pencil, and a set of dice. If you have the RuneQuest starter set, then you should already have most of what you need. Only a pencil is required. Of course, if you're playing on the website, you have pretty much everything you need there. In this scenario, you take on the role of Vasana, daughter of Farnan. This formidable hero is a capable warrior, trusted leader, and dedicated initiate of the Orlanth adventurous cult. In this adventure, she has sided with Kalir Starbrow, leader of the Sartorite rebellion against the Lunar Empire. It is God Day, Movement Week, Earth Season. Kalir is about to lead her troops against the Lunar Empire's war leader, Fazur Widereed. at a critical ford across the strategically important passage of water known simply as the creek. The sides are evenly matched, and even a single stone could shift the scales. Depending on how Vasana carries herself, she could sway the battle and change the fate of Dragon's Pass. To navigate through this solo adventure, first read the primer sections below. They provide a brief introduction to the world of Glorantha, to Dragon Pass, to Vasana, the hero of the story, and to the unique mechanics introduced for this solo scenario. To move through the scenario, read through to the end of a passage and follow the instructions at the bottom. This passage will instruct you to turn to and read a certain section, depending on your choices you make or the result of your dice roll. So, for example, you'll read the passage and then it'll say, go to entry 254, or it will say, if you want to do this, go to entry 12. If you want to do this, go to entry 28. Or it could be something like, roll a skill check. If you succeed, go to page 35. If you fail, go to page 91. Something like that. Or not page, entry. There are several potential endings to this scenario. The one you get depends on how you navigated the Battle of Dangerford. When you finish your first playthrough, consider coming back to refamiliarize yourself with the game mechanics and to search for different endings and hidden secrets. You should have a copy of Vasana's adventurer sheet on hand, and a copy of that of Vostor, son of Pijem, as well. He plays a role later in the adventure. So now we're going to learn a little bit of background information. Welcome to Glorantha. Glorantha is a mythological Bronze Age setting created by Chaosium founder Greg Stafford. Glorantha is a world where gods influence every detail of life. The denizens of Glorantha live their lives under the watchful eyes of the divine. Their every action is infused with faith, tradition, and magic. Glorantha is also the setting of Runequest, one of the original tabletop role-playing game systems. All Glorantha is made up of and guided by mythical archetypes called runes. These runes define existence, much in the same way that our world is made up of atoms and obey their physical laws. Glorantha is ruled by runes. These runes act as magical channels for the powers of creation. Gloranthans often wear them on their skin, and runes are also known to occur naturally in the formation of gemstones or the bark patterns on trees. Glorantha is filled with all kinds of familiar and alien fantasy creatures. Humans are joined by elves, dwarves, trolls, and many more recognizable creatures. But even these familiar creatures have their own unique Gloranthan flavor. In Glorantha, humans are less technologically advanced than in most fantasy worlds. They live in a Bronze Age where walled cities and sophisticated agricultural systems are few and far between. Dwarves are bizarre, ageless, metal-born creatures who toil endlessly to repair the ancient world machine. Elves are plants, not animals, and are far stranger than players may be accustomed to. Alongside these different perspectives on well-known tropes are humanoids. Death-worshipping ducks, rhino-riding nomads, and 1,000 other secrets waiting for you to explore. This scenario, and every Runequest itself, is only the first step into your journey through Greg Stafford's world. So bolster your magic and ready your spear. Glorantha awaits. And now we're going to learn a little bit about the main character you'll be playing as, who is Vasana, daughter of Farnan. In this story, you are Vasana, daughter of Farnan. You are a loyal Sartar. Sartar is one of the places, so Sartarite, a master of battle and a devoted worshipper of Vinga, an aspect of the god Orlanth. A full biography and description of Vasana is included on her character sheet. You can read through this now or dive right into the adventure, learning about Vasana as you play. The only thing you really need to know about the hero of this story is that Vasana is, above all else, a fierce warrior. She is as skilled with the sword as she is with the lance she uses while riding her bison, Molon. Vasana also has a keen eye, represented by a high scan skill, good tactical awareness, represented by a high battle skill, and is a competent leader, represented by her high charisma and respectable orate skill. Do not worry about remembering the mechanical details for now. These are explained to you throughout the adventure itself. Keep in mind a general understanding of this proud warrior, and you should be able to navigate the upcoming battle successfully and help determine the fate of Sartar and potentially all of Dragon Pass. Now, just a quick review of some important things. Taking damage. During the Battle of Dangerford, Vasana will undoubtedly be injured and will undoubtedly injure other people. In Runequest, whenever damage is dealt to a creature, it strikes a specific hit location such as an arm, head, or wing. The damage is reduced by the armor of the hit location unless otherwise specified, and it is then applied to both the hit location's hit points and to the total hit points of the affected creature. Damage in Runequest can be incredibly dangerous. It can lead to scars, missing limbs, unconsciousness, and even instant death. For this scenario, the mechanics have been simplified to a few key conditions, while still keeping the deadly heart of Runequest combat intact. Unconscious. When Vasana's total hit points are reduced to 1 or 2, she falls unconscious. While unconscious, she is vulnerable to enemy attacks. Unless someone comes to her aid, she will be swiftly captured or killed. Compromised. If any of Vasana's limbs are reduced to 0 hit points, they are considered compromised. An arm so compromised cannot wield an item, and anything it carried is dropped. If a leg or abdomen are compromised, Vasana drops prone. She cannot do anything else that round. Attacks she makes are at half their normal success chance, and attacks against her increase their success chance by plus 40. If Vasana's head or chest hit locations are compromised, she immediately falls unconscious. Dead. If Vasana's total hit points are ever reduced to 0, she dies. Healthy. As long as none of the previous criteria are met, Vasana is able to continue fighting and is considered healthy, even if she has bandaged wounds, bruises, aches, etc. In Runequest, successful use of abilities merits the chance for experience and improvement. Throughout this adventure, you will make many rolls for Vasana's skills, passions, and other abilities. On a successful roll, check the experience box next to the ability, if one exists. If there is no box, the ability cannot be increased through experience. If the ability is already checked, do not check it again. And you can have more information here if you want. Battle result total. For this scenario, Vasana's impact on the Battle of Dangerford is measured using a tally. Rather than dealing damage to one of the hundreds of warriors on the lunar side and tracking the individual blows, wounds, and other minutiae, the battle result total is a general guide for Vasana's effect on the enormous conflict. At the end of the scenario, Vasana's BRT will determine the battle's outcome, and she will be rewarded accordingly. Some actions, while strategically efficient, will break the traditional rules of engagement. You must balance your ability to keep tradition, preserve Vasana's all-important honor value, and manage the practical aspects of the combat ahead. Take a brief look at Vasana's adventurer sheet and ensure that you have all the required materials to play, like a pencil, paper, and dice. When you are ready, begin. Okay, and just before we begin, so here's entry number 1, and at the end of entry number 2, at the end of entry number 1, you will have a scan roll. If you pass it, go to 2. If you fail it, go to 3. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I hope that you've enjoyed this so far. I hope that you're interested. As I said, don't worry too much about the rules. Just get into it. If you want to finish here, go and play on your own. If you want to, I'll just read through the battle example. It can be a little bit complicated and overwhelming. It seems like there's a lot going on. My recommendation is kind of just playing this, and then you can come back and watch the rest at the end if you want. So if I'm leaving you here, goodbye and good luck. Let me know in the comments how you got on in your solo adventure. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to read through this so you get an example. Just, you don't have to worry about the rules here, but just to get a feeling for how this game can be run. Following is an example of Runequest combat rules in action, using the pre-generated characters from this set. As before, Jeff is game mastering, with Chris Alice Vasana, Claudia Yanioth, Sven Harmast, Christine Sorala, and Bastian Vostor playing. Here, the adventurers are exploring the underground catacombs beneath the city of Johnstown in search of a mysterious foe. Ever since the town's founding, the tunnels under Johnstown have been used for many things: drainage, access, storage, a refuge in times of war, and even burial. Some parts are natural, some are carven and man or dwarf made. They are not extensive, though they do connect the upper and lower parts of the city. Your torches flare down here, and the cold stone and earthen weight of the city above you is oppressive. The rumored chambers under the ruins of the lunar temple are probably nearby. I don't like it here. Why can't we fight more enemies above ground? Speak for yourself. I like it here. The earth is my element. City Rex Holdfast asked us to find this mysterious arsonist, so we have no choice but to go where the clues lead. I'm not that happy everyone thinks it's the Lunars at fault. It's always the Lunars. Shh, all of you. Let me cast my spell. Sorala uses her small stone statue rune spell matrix, that's a lot of words, to cast Find Magic. This spell requires her to make a POW times 5 roll, which she succeeds easily with. The spell matrix cannot be used again until she takes part in an appropriate worship ceremony. The Game Master looks at the map and decides that the adventurers are close enough to the source of magic, and the way is not blocked by enough soil or stone that the spell works. Sorala must now recharge the item in a temple before it can be used again. You get a sense of magic just up ahead, to the west and north. Everyone, please make listen rolls. Vasana, Yanioth, and Vostor all fail their listen rolls. Sorala is successful, and Harmast gets a critical success. Harmast, above all the clattering. Hey! You hear some other chattering, something animalistic and beast-like, and some pattering of claws against stone. Chattering and pattering both? That's not good. Folks, we have company. Harmast draws his sword. The Game Master asks for everyone's status, such as what they are armed with. Harmast and Vostor are holding torches and have their swords in their other hands. Sorala has a hand axe at the ready. Her broadsword is sheathed and her shield is slung over her back. Yanioth is barehanded and barefoot as well. Only Vasana is ready for combat, armed with broadsword and shield as normal. Due to Harmast's incredible listen roll, you are not surprised when a small pack of largish rat-like creatures with armadillo-like hides and huge alligator-like mouths charge at you from the darkness ahead, in the direction you are going. Each is about half a meter long from snout to stubby armored tail. Rubble runners! Are these magic rubble runners? Ha! No. Sorala, the magic is coming from somewhere else, beyond them. But right now we're in combat, so hopefully your spell will still be in effect when you're done. Okay, everyone, it's strike rank 1. What are you doing, and when do you act? In the statement of intent phase of combat, the Game Master uses a strike rank counter and places the Rubble Runners tokens on strike rank 6. There are 5 runners, the same number as there are adventurers, and they all act at the same time. Alternatively, the Game Master could use a D12, turning it to 1. So this is basically the order in which attacks will happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But again, we'll go through that later, so don't worry if some of this doesn't make sense to you yet. Harmast, I hold back and attack whichever one of them gets near to me with my sword, on strike rank 6. Can I try to intimidate one as well as attacking? No, you need to either focus on intimidating it in a way it can understand, such as waving the torch around and yelling, or you can attack. Pick one. What's your intimidate skill? 20%. I think I'll stick to my sword. No question here. I'll charge at them and strike with my copis, also strike rank 6. The faster we can take them out, the better. I run forward and try to skewer one with my broadsword on strike rank 7. I throw my hand axe at one of the creatures. My dex strike rank is 1 and I can throw 1 per round. I only have 1 axe. Can I draw my sword and shield after that? That'll take 5 strike ranks for each. And with the 1 strike rank, yes, you can throw your axe and spend the rest of the round drawing your sword and getting your shield ready. Sword first, right? I summon my medium earth elemental. You know, Dirty Harry. That happens on strike rank 1. Okay, you know you'll have to cast your control spell over it to get it to do what you want, right? Of course. Okay, everyone put your adventurer tokens on the strike ranks when you act. In the movement of non-engaged characters phase of the combat, Vostor, Vasana, and the Rubble Runners all move, entering melee combat range. Now, combat shifts to the resolution of melee, missiles, and spells phase, which follow the strike rank order. Let's start at the top of the round. Strike rank 1. Rune magic happens first, so I cast my spell. Of course, I succeed. My earth rune is 90%. Gamemaster describing her summoning spell. Yanioth utters some words in earth tongue. She seems to grow in stature. Her skin seems to turn greenish. Phantasmal golden snakes coil about her and plunge into the ground at her feet. The earth rumbles a bit, and clods of dirt and pebble shift as the ground bulges in front of her, as if something's coming up. Then the spell fades, and she's just Yanioth again. Now, who's next? Just Yanioth. I am a servant of the earth goddess. Okay, I throw my hand axe at one of the runners. The one in front rolls. I succeed with normal success. They don't dodge or parry, so roll hit location. I get 10. My damage is 1d6 plus 1d2. I roll a 6 and a 1, which rounds up to 1. A total of 7. That's right. That's right in its 4 quarters. Basically, it's upper torso. So you probably hit it in the back given the angle. It has some tough hide armor, and you do 5 points after that's deducted. Looks at right up of Rubble Runners, sees that they have only 4 points for the 4 quarters hit location, which incapacitates it. The runner tumbles with your axe blow, wounded so much it can't fight anymore. Good shot. As no one goes on strike ranks 2 through 5, these move by quickly, and the Game Master takes Yanioth and Sorala's tokens off the counter. In the meantime, Sorala is drawing her sword. Yanioth's earth elemental is manifesting, and Vostor and Vasana charge to meet the onrushing Rubble Runners. Okay, it's strike rank 6, and a lot of stuff is going to happen. Since Harmast, Vostor, and the Rubble Runners all go on this strike rank, actions are resolved in order of dex, with highest to lowest. That's you, Harmast. As one of the creatures comes at me wanting a big bite, I swing my broadsword at it. A success! A hit location of 6, and damage is 6 points. That's pretty good, right? Yep, you hit it in the hindquarters, so the lower abdomen, and 6 points is enough to bypass its 2 points of hide armor and incapacitate it. It crumples and hisses. Vostor? I swing with my coppice. I'll just roll hit location and damage at the same time, alright? That's a normal success to its hit location 13, and very nice. 13 total points of damage. Wow! You maim its right foreleg and it shrieks, pulling back. Subtracting 2 points of armor gives it 11 points of damage, but the front leg has only 3 hit points. That minus 3 hit points, that goes to minus 3 hit points and incapacitates the limb. It's not dead, but it's definitely lost the fighting spirit. As it's a living thing and it just suffered a serious blow, I'm going to rule that it won't be attacking this round and will flee in pain. Poor lizard rats. Now I feel sorry for them. Well, 2 of them are still active, and one of them bites at you, Sorala, and the other surges at Vasana. Vasana, shield parry. Success. Sorala, I dodge. Oh no, I fail. The attack on Vasana is parried by her shield, and the one on Sorala misses anyway. Now we're at strike rank 7. You're up, Vasana. Let's end this. Rules covered in this example of combat include skill rolls, melee rounds, strike ranks, rune spells, armor, and hit points per location. Okay, wow. So this is a lot to go through. Don't worry if you didn't understand everything here. Now, if you stayed through to the end, thank you very much. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. And let me know in the comments below how you got on there. How was your solo adventure? If there's anything confusing you, or if I've made any mistakes, let me know. I've played the solo adventure before. That's as far as I've ever got in Runequest. So this is new to me too, but let's enjoy learning it together. All right, so that's the end of today's video, and I will see you later. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.